Everybody, here's another fun story about endless war and how we're better than the people we're fighting against, right? Because remember, the people we're fighting against, they're horrible. They don't care about human beings. ISIS, Al Qaeda, they kill innocent human beings on purpose. We would never do that. Even though history is littered with examples of us doing that. And even worse, killing innocent people for money at the behest of corporations, which is what it almost always is. So we wouldn't do that, would we? I mean, the guys we're fighting are horrible because, they use kitchen knives and whatever. They cut your head off when they kill you. We used depleted uranium-tipped bombs, which I don't know if you know how they work. They hug you to death, and you die giggling. So now, because the CIA was able to come up with another way to scare the Americans, meaning, hey, I know, we'll videotape terrorists beheading people. How long will that work to keep the wars going? I bet you at least 5 years, maybe longer. So why do I bring this up? Well, because the United States admits using toxic depleted uranium against ISIS in Syria. Why is that a big deal? I mean, sure, the bomb is toxic. Well, the bomb's a bomb. Well, let's get a little backstory. It says depleted uranium is prized by the U.S. military for exceptional toughness, which enables it to pierce heavy tank armor. However, airborne depleted uranium particles can contaminate nearby ground and water and pose a significant risk of toxicity, birth defects, and cancer when inhaled or ingested by humans or animals. So the bomb not only kills the people we're trying to kill, but then it gets into the water and the ground and it kills the people we're supposedly trying to help. So why would we still do that? Possibly because we don't give a shit about helping people? Could it be? And when you use a depleted uranium-tipped bomb, you got to replace it. Let's go on. Depleted uranium is also the prime suspect in the medical condition dubbed the Gulf War Syndrome, afflicting U.S. veterans of the 1991 conflict and some peacekeepers deployed in the Balkans. Gulf War Syndrome. I mean, radiation exposure from radioactive materials? In March 2015, get this. In March 2015, spokesman for the U.S.-led coalition, John Moore, had explicitly ruled out the use of the controversial ammunition, saying that, quote, the U.S. and coalition aircraft have not been and will not be using depleted uranium munitions in Iraq or Syria during Operation Inherent Resolve. Said they will not. Why would he say that? Why would he care? Why would he say we're not going to use a certain type of bomb? Oh, that's right, because they're horrible. They're even more horrible than regular bombs because they kill lots of innocent people afterwards in horrific ways. The coalition's promise not to use depleted uranium munitions in Iraq was made after an estimated 1 million rounds were used during the 1991 Gulf War and the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Between Iraq and the Balkans, where they were also used in the 1990s, the depleted uranium rounds have been blamed on a massive increase in cancer and birth defects. So you're maiming children. So Americans don't cut people's heads off with kitchen knives. We just poison unborn babies so they're born with birth defects. But it's really important that we do it. It's worth it. A spokesman for the U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, told Foreign Policy magazine that 5,265 armor-piercing depleted uranium rounds were used in November 2015. 5,000 during 2 air raids against Islamic State. Oil tanker convoys in the Dore and Hasaka provinces in eastern Syria. Wow. So why is it so? Here's a little bit more information on depleted uranium.
Use in densely populated areas during the American invasion of Iraq had a major blowback.
So this is about when we used the depleted uranium before, when we illegally invaded Iraq, killed hundreds of thousands of people over oil, pretended it was about our safety.
I thought they had weapons.
They did. They were about to, I don't know if you know, but Iraq was about to attack us.
Oh, okay. All right.
Iraq was about to attack us, Ron, and that's why we had to preemptively go in and, you don't hear people, we had to go in and preempt.
It's like we read their minds.
Yeah.
You're like, they're coming, but not so fast.
Right. We knew that they were committing a thought crime. I've seen Minority Report movie with Tom Cruise. I know what that is, a thought. So they were committing thought crime. They were thinking about attacking us, and we had to go put them down for that. Anyway, here is a little bit of information on the blowback we got from using depleted uranium in the first Gulf War in Iraq. A surge in infant deaths, infant mortalities, birth defects. That's what our bombs do. It's worth it, though, right? You got to do that to a few babies.
It was partly because of the blowback from Iraq that officials gave assurances that the military would not use the material again. But it turns out years later, they did.
Anti-war activist Richard...
So, turns out they did. So here's an anti-war activist, and he's got some great stuff to say about it.
Use of the substance could well amount to a war crime.
Depleted uranium weaponry should be banned, and depleted uranium often kind of vaporizes when it's fired, when it hits its target, and creates a uranium gas, a gasified form of radioactivity, which is extremely harmful and extremely dangerous to people. And the fact that they continue using it, as they did in the wars in Iraq and Yugoslavia and other wars, shows this utter lack of regard for the lives of civilians. And the idea of that the U.S. has the right to do this, and then just to blatantly admit it, is really an admission, a confession to committing war crimes.
And I just, the point he makes is that America just admits it, that we do this stuff. Just admit it. Yeah, we're using, just like did we ever admit to using phosphorus in Fallujah, even though we did? I'm pretty sure that's a war crime. Anyway, this is fantastic. We still make cluster bombs in the United States. We ship them to Saudi Arabia. They drop them on poor people in Africa and in Kenya. I mean, not in Kenya, in Yemen. So now, and look, it's great. We're using the depleted uranium-tipped bombs. It's, I don't even know what to say. But I'm sure it's super important that we're doing this because we're better. We're good. We're Christians, and when we used, I mean, that's what Christians. That's how Christians kill. We use good manufactured bombs, right? We don't just create an IED. That's so barbaric. We do in a factory. We have pretty colors. They look nice. Look how they go in on there nice.
I mean, when God whispered into Bush's ear, he was like, G-dubs, it's me again, God. Go bomb Iraq and make it count, man. Depleted uranium.
Make it count.
Come on. I will smite you if you don't remember the depleted uranium.
Make it count. Yes, make it count. So we're the good guys.
You don't hear about depleted uranium often, and one of the things that I know, the only person in United States politics that I know of, if anyone knows about anyone else, like leave it in the comments, but the only one I know of was Congressman Jim McDermott up in Seattle. He was my congressman when I lived there. He spoke out about depleted uranium. And also there's a band called Anti-Flag that has a song called Depleted Uranium is a War Crime, if you get a lot of your life lessons from punk rock, as I still do. And one of the things that Jim McDermott said was, he said, areas that are most affected by this, when they do have children, they don't say, is it a boy or a girl? They say, is it normal?
Oh, wow. Hey, it's super important that we poison babies with uranium, or else we wouldn't be doing it. Super important. It's going to help. It's what Jesus would do in this situation. We're the good guys.